Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel, Studio Vegan. I know I barely show my face, you only see my hands, but I thought I'd share with you guys this awesome recipe I found off of Food Wishes. He does vlogging, and he also has an awesome blog. I follow him a lot. But I found these sweet potato buns because I did not purchase any of my breads. I'm going to be making like 99% of them. And I thought I'd make some sweet potato buns to go with my Beyond Burger. It's a little different and it sounds delicious. So I'm going to show you guys how I make this. His was a non-vegan version or non-plant-based. I'm going to be making the plant-based vegan version of his sweet potato buns. So I'll show you guys what you need. This is also going to be a part of my 30-day, my monthly $40 to $40 budget that I've created. So I showed you guys what I had in my kitchen, and I'm going to make my own buns. So with my Beyond Burger and some other toppings that are awesome. So I'm going to show you guys what you'll need, and we're just going to get started. So let's do this. Make sure to subscribe if you'd like to see some more videos, because subscriptions are just amazing and it keeps me posting. I post whenever I can. I make a lot of videos. It's just, you know, editing them and stuff like that. But let's get started. Enough jibber jabber. So let's go start. Hi guys, so you'll need some flour, you'll need some maple syrup, sea salt, yeast, flax seeds, and vegan butter of choice. So first things first is you're going to peel your sweet potato or yam and get all the skin off. I'm using a peeler, or you can use whatever you have on hand. And you're going to peel it all off, and then we're going to chop it up. So I'm going to take my knife and cut it in half, and then cut the top and bottom off. Cut this in half, and all you're going to do is cube this up. You're going to cube it up because it'll make it easier for it to cook quicker and faster. You want soft sweet potatoes for these buns. So that's my first set, and I'm just going to continue to chop these all up, guys. It's super easy, and yeah, you just chop away. Now once you're done, you're just going to place this in some salting boiling water. I added the whole sweet potato to this pan, and I'm going to let them cook while I prep everything else. Now the sweet potatoes are all done and fogging up the camera as usual, and they're nice and soft, so we're going to drain them. So you're going to drain them in some cold water, and it'll stop them from cooking, as always fogging up the camera. And you're just going to run some cold water over your sweet potatoes and then set them aside. Now the yeast. We're just going to add a 1/4 cup of water to the yeast, some warm water. You don't want it to be too hot because it will kill the yeast. And add a 1/4 of flour to the yeast in water, and this is so you can see if the yeast is active and alive. And you're going to set this aside for about 10 minutes. You cover it with a plate and you set it aside. Now we're going to make our egg replacer. I'm using flax seeds, 1 tablespoon of flax seeds and 2 tablespoons and a half of water. And we're going to set this aside as well. Once you're done mixing it, we're going to mix this all up. And we're going to have a 1/2 cup of sweet potato. And you're just going to mash this up. It is fairly warm still, but this will allow it to cool down faster. We're going to mash this up because this will be going inside of our mixture. So just use a fork. I'm using a fork. If you have a masher, you can use it. But because these are soft, it's easier to mash up with a fork. And yeah, that's basically it. I'm going to take my leftovers and put them in the freezer. I actually added too much sweet potato. I only need a 1/2 cup for this recipe because I'm doing half of the recipe. So yeah, we measure. Okay. Now we're going to melt the butter. There you go. And then you're going to add a teaspoon of maple syrup. And that's our yeast, so bubbly. So we have everything all prepped. The butter, our sweet potato, our egg replacer, we'll have maple syrup, and everything's all together. So now it's time to put everything in our mixer. So we're just gonna add our yeast to the mixer first. And yeah, get all of the yeast out of there. Then we're gonna add in our sweet potato. I'm gonna turn this around so you guys can see it better. Okay, add in the sweet potato. Then I'm going to add in the flex egg. Oh, added in too much again. So use half of the flex egg instead of the full thing. I'm going to add in the butter and the maple syrup. Yeah, get all that goodie in there. Then you're going to add in half of the flour. So I'm adding in 1 cup first and some salt. And then we're just gonna mix this bad boy up. They have a dough mixing setting, so I'm just gonna click that and watch it go. I'm gonna mix this until it stops, and then this is basically what it looks like on the inside, guys. It's still pretty sticky, so I'm gonna add half of a cup and just let it mix again. Okay, now it looks like it is where it needs to be, and we're gonna check. So this is what it looks like. It's tacky, but it's not sticky. It's perfect. So we're gonna take this out of my dough mixer, and this is what it looks like on the inside. So yeah, put a little flour down, very little. You don't need too much, and we're just gonna mold this. I'm just pulling it back and pushing it into itself to make a nice smooth surface and ball. And then we're going to take this and put it inside of a bowl. I'm just going to take a little bit of olive oil and drizzle it on top of the ball. And I'm going to cover it with some cling wrap. And you're going to let this sit in a cool place, non-bothered, for about an hour. So I'm going to take mine and walk it over to the stove and put it in the oven. The oven is off, guys. I'm not cooking it. And voila, 1 hour later, this is what it looks like. You can leave it in there longer. Sometimes you can do 2 hours. But look at how this baby has risen. It's so big. And we're just going to add a little bit of flour to our surface again. And we're going to okay, that's not working. You gotta use your hands. But look at how it's risen. You're just going to take your hand and you're going to slap it down into a nice rectangular type shape as you slap it down, because you want to release all of the air out of your dough. And you can still see some of the air bubbles in there. But we're just going to take a knife and we're going to cut this into 4. Now I'm going to say this now. If you want bigger buns, just leave them as the 4 and make them into buns this way. But if you want smaller buns like I did, you cut the halves in half. So these are the smaller buns. If you want them bigger, leave them in 4 pieces. But I'm just going to roll these out into these nice round circles. I'm going to pull back on them so I can have like a nice smooth surface. Yeah, you're just going to roll them out, and then you're going to also pat it down, because you want buns, you don't want little whatever, yeah. So you're just going to pull them all back, and I'm going to do all of these, and I will show you guys what they look like. Okay, just take your hand and make this cool circular shape. So these are what they look like. I'm doing my last one. Yeah. You make sure you smack them down because it releases the air, and you let these rise for about 10 minutes in the oven. And then make sure to preset your oven to 400 degrees. So after they're done rising, you're just going to take your butter of choice. Oh, there you go. Set your oven to 400 degrees. And while that's setting, I'm just putting a little bit of butter on top of this. You can use butter, you can use oil of choice. I'm just using my vegan butter. And I'm going to sprinkle some sesame seeds on top of this. But honestly, you don't need them, guys. You do not need them at all. They taste perfectly fine without them. They just add a little something to the buns. They add character, but they're not necessary. Yeah, so they're all done after being in the oven for 15 minutes, well, 12 minutes. I'd put them in there for 10 the next time, and this is it done. Oh my gosh, it's so fluffy, and they're so good, guys. I hope you enjoy this recipe. Please let me know if you use it, #StudioVegan, and thanks for watching.